We're live. That was a fast countdown, bro. I thought it was 90 seconds. How we doing, Dave?
I'm doing great, Matty, man. I was so pumped when you called me and said, "Can you talk UFC 314?" I'm like, "With you? Hell yeah, brother. It's like old times. We get to roll again, my man."
You got so many people coming on right now. We're going to give them a few minutes. Dave, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience here? Tell them where you work. Tell them what you do.
Absolutely, brother. I work at Volkanovski out here in Las Vegas. Been out here for about 4 years now.
You
So
got lost audio.
Uh-oh.
There we go. Now you're good.
So I'm out here in Las Vegas, Matty, as you know. Always love when you come in town. We get to catch up. I work at Volkanovski super early. If you're out of my time, I'm on at 4 a.m., 7 o'clock on the East Coast every day, 7 to 10 East Coast. Volkanovski by the books, myself, Jensen Lewis, former closer for the Cleveland Indians. Really a jack of all trades guy. He's awesome to do the show with. And Matty, what I love about doing the shows with Jensen every day, he loves you. And really? He loves what you do and the cycle parlay. And we talk about it all the time on the shows, bro, because I really do think like the cycle parlay has been something in our space in MMA. And you and I have been in this game for a long time now. It really does feel different. And people look forward to it every week. I know I do. So I love from the origins of it to where it is now, dude. It's so cool what you've entered into our space.
I appreciate it, bro. I always tell people we just got to hit 1 to 2 a year. That's it. You know, like sometimes the odds are like 20 to 1. So if you got to hit a couple of those a year, but if you hit a big one, I'm going to show 2 long shots by the end of the show, or one is my official cycle parlay. Because it was a big pay-per-view and a Miami card, I decided to do a second one. The second one is 52 to 1.
Oh,
that we'll show that one at the end of the show too. If you hit that one, you're profitable. There's 40 some UFC cards a year. So you just have to hit one big long shot and you're up on the year if you tail the cycles. So we've hit 2 since December.
Unbelievable.
We've hit when I came to Vegas, I hit 2 weeks in a row. I went 2-1 on the cycles. So I missed the third leg 2 weeks in a row. So we had Yasmin Lucindo as the last leg of the cycle, and it lost when I was in Vegas. But, you know, that's how it goes, bro. You can't win them all.
No, you're playing those straight too, though, right? Like a lot of times.
I play some of them straight or some variations of it. Like if I have a fighter by KO in the cycle, I might have them inside the distance as like a straight bet. So it just depends, you know, what I like. But we have, you know, I love the cycles though, bro. Like as long as the first leg or two hits, I'm happy because then we get the sweat from it. You know, everyone's tailing it and we see what happens on the last leg. This week we have a 30 to 1 and a 52 to 1. So we'll see what happens.
All right, that's a deep tease. You're not giving those out right away. We're gonna get those to those
not right away. So guys, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on X streaming live as well. Dave Ross, Dave, what's your Twitter account if you guys want to drop him a follow?
Absolutely. At D Ross Sports. I did not pay Elon Musk extra for the 3 S's in a row, but it's D Ross and then Sports right there on X and also on IG. Matty, and I know it's your show, but do you mind if I tee you up? Because I want to get your thoughts first on some of these fights, if you're cool with that, because I always like to pick your brain. You know how we roll. And again, you get off to a good start in some of these cards and you feel like you're playing with house money a little bit. No, you don't have to bet every fight on the card. Exactly. We know that. Are you going to be looking right away to Nora Kanoe against Haley Cowan in that very first fight here?
Yeah, I haven't made an official plan in this fight yet, so I'm pumped to talk through this one with you. But I've put in about 4 or 5 bets on the card so far. So usually the Thursday show we talk through everything, and then a lot of things like hit me, and I'm like, oh, I like this, I like that. So I usually bet right after the show, and then Friday as well. And then everyone that's watching right now, guys, we do the Friday show with Hey Drive Picks. That's from 8:30 to 10 p.m. Eastern. We bring on about 40 or 50 live guests. Anybody with a smartphone and a brain and that watches UFC can come on the show. The rules of that show is come prepared with a long shot, 10 to 1 or higher, and come with confidence. And that's it. Those are the only rules of the show.
I loved when I came on that show and I hit 2 out of my 3 legs, man. I couldn't get all the way home, but it was a nice 17 to 1. I was close 2 out of 3. All right. So when you look at Nora, she's almost about $1.75, $1.85 is what I'm seeing here on most books against Haley in this first fight to kick it off in the bantamweights 135 pounders here for the ladies. We've bet on Nora in the past before. Do you think she's overpriced? Do you think it's properly priced here at about that $1.75?
I think she's somewhat properly priced. It's up to what, minus 180 right now?
Yeah, I'm seeing 180 now, 185 at DraftKings.
Yeah. Bro, so I'm interested in what you think on both of their grappling, because I think this fight could get a little messy, a little chaotic. There could be some grappling exchanges here. I think Haley's kind of tough on the feet too.
Yep.
So I don't know if Nora's going to be able to just like starch her or put her away on the feet. I was looking at both of the sub props. I was actually surprised that Haley was a bigger favorite to win by sub than Nora was. I think Nora's plus 700.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'll touch either of them, but it's something I was looking at in tape study. This is a decent. We've had some cards now where everyone's like, "Oh, I can just take a bathroom break or watch the fight later because women's MMA." There's been some absolute bangers in women's MMA. We hit Barbosa round 1 last week.
What a great call.
These fights with finishes early in the cards the last few weeks.
Well, let's play it through. So if we think that Haley might be a little bit tougher on the feet, right? That maybe she's got that advantage there, that Nora's not going to be able to get her out of there. If it comes into dirty boxing, who do you think is looking to initiate the takedowns? Who do you think would prefer to possibly get this fight down to the ground? I got to think Nora might be the one that says, all right, if I don't like the hands game here, I might try to initiate it on the ground.
I think both girls are down to scrap, but at the same time, I agree with you if you have to pick one. I think Nora's fought the better competition. It's definitely close, though. I mean, she hasn't fought really. I mean, Nora's fought. I liked her one win against Melissa Mullins, that round 2 TKO.
Yeah.
Back in April 2024. I actually really liked. I think Jocelyn Edwards is somewhat underrated. I like that decision win against her. So as far as a pick here, I'm going with my girl Nora. I've made money on her a couple times now. I wish she was a little less of a favorite. If she was in that minus 130 to 150 range, I think I would probably have a full unit or two on her on the money line. But I don't really love either side here as far as a money line bet.
I don't either. If I end up playing it, I'd be on the Nora side here as well. But what I think I'd do there, if I end up getting involved in that first fight, she'll be a parlay piece for me. Just a small 2-3 legger, because I don't like laying $1.75, $1.85 to start off my night. You get that one upset that goes against you early, you're already down 2-1 to begin your card. So I never really advised that. I'm kind of with you. It feels like if she was down $1.35, $1.40, I'd probably back Nora in a straight play. But because she's ballooned a little bit here, I'm going to look to find a parlay piece with her later on in the evening.
Fair enough. What do you think? You think either girl's live by sub here? Or you think I'm crazy?
I don't know. You know how I am. Women's MMA, you see where the juice is to the over 2.5. You got to lay 230 on that. Tells us the implication is we're probably hitting the cards. And here's a problem with backing a favorite like Nora to begin the night if you just play it as a straight play. If the inclination is at 230 that it's going to go over 2.5 rounds, I'd rather be on the dog in a close fight with the judging, because we've seen how suspect it can be if we think it's going to hit the card. So if I'm Nora and I got to lay almost 2-1 here, I'd like to look for finishes so I don't have to risk sweating it out with the judges. But to me, that total is implying everything I think we know, that barring a stoppage on the ground with submission, I don't know that either girl is going to be live to get the knockout. I'd probably lay off that. And if you want to really shorten the price tag here on Nora, maybe play her by decision and get some plus money out of it.
Okay. I was looking at that guillotine loss from Haley a couple fights ago, or 3 fights ago.
They're moving.
That was in LFA.
Well, for Nora?
No, and Haley. Jake, we can hear you, buddy. Let me mute him. But yeah, I'm either going Nora by submission or I'm passing. That's my final answer.
Well, you normally go for the longer shot anyway. So if I end up playing this, it's either going to be Nora by decision and or parlay piece. But we're both going to be on the Cornoli side here at the beginning. All right, second fight of the night. We got Marco Tulia Silva is a huge favorite against Tracy Gore. You want to come back on Gore here is almost, it's 3-1 right now. You can get plus $3 here on Tracy against Marco. Now, obviously, both these guys, 30 years of age. You look in a mirror here, 6 foot. Everything looks identical until, obviously, you get down to the winning streak of 9 versus 2. What do you make of Marco being a massive $4 betting favorite here?
I think it's a little bit wide. First of all, guys, I'm going to address some of these comments. Real quick, just so we can clear the air. We got about 1,100 live viewers right now. Austin works for FanDuel. He could not continue to do the show. That's my guy. That's my boy. We love him, but just so everyone knows, he cannot do the show as of right now for moving forward. So for right now, I'm going to keep the show going. We'll probably have guests on each week, or we'll figure something out. So just so everybody knows and understands. So let's go back to this fight. Tresean Gore seems to pull these fucking wins out of his ass, bro. Guillotine choke on Josh Friend. Guillotine on Antonio Tricoli. I don't think he's going to be able to get a sub here on Tulio. So I think that this is a fight where we're finally going to learn something about Tresean Gore. Like, is this guy any good? Right? But I think the odds are wide to answer your question. I know Tulio by KO is even money.
Yep.
And then the sub is 5-1, which I don't know what your thoughts are there, but that's fucking crazy.
Well, the Tricoli fight, I'm still scarred from that. If you remember, you and I in a previous show, I was all over the Tricoli side there, and he just got mollywopped in that first round, getting subbed out by Gore. So I'm still stung by that one a little bit. Yeah, I think it's too big. Again, if the only way that I could back the Silva side is if we're looking KO to get that down to even money. But is the ground game, is that what he's going to look to do? I don't think so. So bangers at 185. To me, I can't back a $4 betting favorite against a guy that's been in there with some decent competition in Gore. Yeah. So if I'm going to bet it, which I have not, it would be Silva by KO. But again, do you like a prop for even money? I can't even get plus money on that.
I know. It's like plus 100. So I was thinking about Tulio by KO here. I mean, we saw Cody Brundage starch Tresean Gore.
Yeah.
But apparently he didn't really have a corner in that fight. He wasn't prepared. He had no strategy. He talked about that in an interview. Again, I think we're going to learn a lot about Tresean Gore here. If I had to pick something in this fight, I'd probably go Tulio by KO here, but I might pass. I hate the pass on the first two fights of the night, but I might have to here.
How hard is it for you when you're in attendance? Like you're going to be at 314?
Oh, I'll still bet anything unofficially. Like if I don't have a bet on the card, I'll usually tell any of my boys like Hayden or Homa Fight picks. Like last minute, 2 minutes before the fight, I'll be like, I need something for action, and I'll throw something for fun on a fight. But as far as the picks I give out, I don't know that I'll have anything on the first two here.
All right, so nothing official on the first two, but the leads would be Silva by KO. That's basically at even money. Sumaderji's back in here. When you see Sumaderji in a card, all I can think of is maybe the greatest fight I still think I might have ever seen against Danger Schnell. It's still one of the greatest fights of all time. Obviously, Sumaderji did not come out on the right side. I don't even know if he remembers the end of that fight here. Raposo's a dog against Sumaderji. Right now, $1.75 on the Sumaderji side. If you want to come back on Mitch, you can get plus money here. I'm seeing plus $1.45. How about this total, Matty? It is juiced to the over $1.80 for 2.5. Yeah. But again, man, I think of a guy like Sumaderji who's been in so many wars. Is the under in play at plus $1.40?
Bro, I'm so glad you said that. So this is a fight that I was looking yesterday. Here, let me pull up the number right now. But I think people don't really think very highly of Mitch, but I think he's okay. I think he's decent. And like you said, Sue's been in a lot of wars. The KO prop is plus 750, bro. Plus 750 on him. I think he's improving. I think he's getting better on the feet. Dude, you remember the Sumaderji, who was the fight where he had was it Matt Schnell?
Danger Schnell, one of the greatest fights I've ever seen.
Oh my God, bro! I was on the Sumaderji side and I was disgusted of how
he had him knocked out 7 times, Matty. They could have stopped that fight 7 different times.
So let's look at this under. So the under right now is
plus money.
Yeah, so dude, here in Florida, the app just updated. They're giving 1.5 and 2.5 on everything, just at different numbers.
Oh,
I know a lot of books don't do that, and we're going to talk about a fight later on the card that I hammered the 1.5 line, which is like 2.5 everywhere. But under 2.5, yeah, plus 135. I think I might have an official unit on that for my card that comes out tomorrow, and I might sprinkle on Mitch by KO here, dude. I just think this guy's been through wars. And this guy's younger, and he's getting better every fight. And, you know, maybe a 1-2 down the middle can do something in this matchup. So it's a long shots plus 750, but I think it's live, bro.
I'm with you on the under. You know me, sometimes I go a little bit more cautious than those longer shots, but I love that I'm seeing it right now. DraftKings is plus $1.40. I'll see what the number is at Circuit tomorrow morning when I go in for the show. But that under is very live to me. Plus, I feel like we're getting the double chance, right? If Sumaderji can – I don't know if he couldn't knock out Danger Schnell, even though he had him knocked out so many different times.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's a lack of punching power or what that is at this stage. But I don't know that I'd trust this fight to go the distance or get over that 2.5. And I'm with you. The Raposo side via KO, you're getting that over $7. It's pretty juicy for a guy that how many times can his chin get touched and not go out. I mean, we've seen it so many times. I'm going to play the under officially. That's going to be a play for me at plus $1.40.
Let's go, dude. You know another thing I like on Mitch, Coach Eric Nixick, right? Am I right?
Oh yeah.
He's got. So I think I DM'd Nixick the other day. I was like, bro, because he kind of trolled us like jokingly last week. Who was his fighter that pulled off the upset? Everyone was on the other side.
Last week?
Yeah.
Let me see.
Who was it? I gotta look now.
It was a forgetful card last week.
Someone in the chat can tell us. Let's see. Who was it, bro?
Was it O'Day Osborne?
No.
I'm trying to think of the KOs from last week. O'Day's the only one that really sticks out to me.
I think it was like a co-main or a co-main here.
At the UFC Fight Night card last week. Let me see if we can find it.
I'm pulling it up because I really want to talk about this. Everyone was on the other side. We do the fighters versus casual series on Instagram, so it's Anthony Smith, Gilbert, and Moicano.
Oh boy,
me, Hey Jive, and Nolan, and we're up 6 weeks to 2 weeks on them.
On the pros,
they won last week though. We were up 6 weeks to 1 week, and they won last week. Someone in the comments, man.
Don't tell me was it Sabatini destroying Joe Anderson Brito?
Well, that one we lost on.
Yeah.
I don't think that's Nixick's guy, right?
O'Day Osborne's the only Nixick guy last week.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It might have been O'Day.
Upset wise, that is. Sabatini's Philly.
Was it 2 weeks ago?
Sabatini's Philly, dude. O'Day was getting kind of worked until that knockout. I don't know if he's with Nixick these days or not, but he looked really good.
It definitely wasn't that. No, O'Day did look good. Hold on. This is gonna kill me if I don't find it. Jake, you don't remember this?
Dude, I'm digging because I do. I feel like it was a couple weeks ago, though.
Oh, not last week's card?
It might have been.
By the way, I was so disappointed in Brito last week, dude.
Oh, my God, bro.
He looked terrible against Sabatini.
Everyone that had Sabatini was on the sharp side. I just thought that he could survive on the ground, which he did, but I thought every round it would come out as a new round and he could find the shot, and he just.
Why are we pulling guard every time we get close to a clinch instead of defending the takedown? Like, dude, I need some fighter IQ there from Brito, I really like Brito, and he survived 15 minutes, but you did it off your back for 15 minutes, dude.
I was upset. All right, well, we'll come back to it later, but let's move on to this next one. I'm interested in what you think here.
Well, Michael O, it's hard not to love Michael O. J. Chuck, especially the guys he's lost to. Just look back at the last 3 years of Michael O's fights, and he doesn't win them, but he's in there against literally the tip of the spear guys, right? They just throw him in with all the best guys. Now he gets Jacobs Dumas, a nice fighter, but all of a sudden now I'm seeing Michael O. in the time that we just started the show here, Matt. He's already ballooned over to a $2 betting favorite. It was $1.75 yesterday. He's up over $2. Look, I get it because of the pedigree that we're talking about here, but should Michael O be a $2 betting favorite over anybody?
Yeah. I mean, he put Kevin Holland to the ground, which a lot of people have, like Jack. I don't think Jack Della Maddalena even knocked Kevin Holland down. If I remember correctly, I know he won a decision over him, but I've always liked Michal as a Chuck, dude. I love his striking, but I actually had Dumas by decision the one night where he just grappled. Was that Brundage?
Yeah.
It was 10-1. And I feel like there is a chance that this fight could go similarly. But then again, if he implements that style, can he sub this dude is the question. So I don't know. This is another very tricky fight. I'm going to read off the numbers here. So I believe Dumas to win by decision, plus 525. KO is plus 550, which is the only one I don't like. And then the submissions plus 750. So I think if you're on the Dumas side, you could even look at double chance, like submission decision. I think those are his two likely paths. And then Olazechuk, he's
KO.
a KO or bust guy. His KO plus 155. It's the most likely outcome of the fight. Now, this is a great point here. Logan just commented, Olazechuk has been trading with fighting nerds. It's a great point. It's tough because if you're not like the top 4 fighting nerds guys, some of these guys end up losing. That's the only thing. However, I do think he's going to be a little bit more well-rounded and better prepared for training with them. I'm going Olazechuk as a pick. I don't think Dumas is chinny, though. Do you?
I don't. And I'm looking at the total. That's why I'm surprised where the total is set. 1.5 is what I'm seeing right now. Juice to the over here, $1.54, over 7.5 minutes. So the under, you're going to get plus money at plus $1.20. Dumas, I don't view him as chinny. So if Michael O gets it done, it's probably later. Like, I mean, I don't want to say it's a safer play to play the over and lay a little bit of that juice, but I'm not mad at it because I think if somebody gets KO'd, it's probably Olajaychuk that knocks out Dumas. And I don't think that happens early in the first 7.5 minutes. So to me, I'd probably look to that over and lay a little bit of that juice.
Yeah. So I'm glad you said that. Olajaychuk round 2 KO plus 650, round 3 plus 1,000, give or take, depending on what book you guys have access to. I don't mind that at all. I think a round 2 KO is possible here. But, oh, man, the first few fights of this card are not easy, to be honest. A lot of these prelims are tough reads.
I agree. I would look, again, if you wanted to shorten the price tag, I do like getting Michael O and the KO prop at plus $1.55 and say laying the $2. I'm not thrilled about that on just a straight money line play. But, again, I might look to that over $1.54, talking about a parlay piece from earlier. That could be a nice little parlay piece in the first 3 fights with maybe Nora and play that over in the Dumas fight. That might be a nice little way to turn that into some plus money in the first 3 fights.
What's it? 2.5 or 1.5 for you on the total?
1.5.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so I have both options again, dude. It's so crazy that.
What's your 2.5 number?
So 1.5, the over is minus 165. The 2.5, the over is plus 120.
See, I like that 1.5 to get me going with Nora to be in the fight and turn those small minuses minus $1.85 here for Nora. I got $1.54 DraftKings and get plus money with that 2-legger. I'm going to trust it for 7.5 minutes. But then I think your Michael O round 3 KO at plus 1,000.
Is this cardio there?
You hit that 7.5 minutes. It's kind of getting sloppy. We get drunken bar fight for sailors.
Yeah.
3rd round, Michael O. I could hit that over and then still be live for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, guys, one more time. Since another 500 people have joined, Austin is no longer on the show. As the last time I'm saying it, he's my boy, he's my homie. He works for FanDuel, so we're not able to keep having him on the show. It's the last time I'm going to answer this. Hopefully everyone, if you guys are in the chat and people keep asking, please respond to them for us.
And by the way, Matty, Volkanovski was cool enough because I was like, can I go on with my boy Matty? And they're like, yes, you can go on with Matty. I was like, all right, cool.
Yes. So shout out to Volkanovski. Dave's joining this week as a guest. We're going to continue to go up the card here all the way up to the main event. So what's your final answer on this one before we move on? If you have to bet something.
Playing the over, 1.5. Going to lay the juice. $1.54 is what you got at DraftKings. You got it about $1.60 down there in Florida. So I think that's a fair price for over 7.5 minutes. Might get a little sweaty, but I don't see Dumas taking care of Michael O in the first 7.5. The sweat would be, does Olajaychuk get him out of there early? But I'm with you. I don't think Dumas is chinny. So I'm going to look to that over 7.5. And then I think as we move into that later part of the round 2 and certainly round 3, I think the KO prop is live for Michael O to possibly get that done. I like where your head's at with that, but I'm officially going to play that over 1.5.
By the way, to go with your over, Dumas has never been put away before 7.5 minutes except one time, and that was the Nursultan Ruzaboa fight. And if I'm not mistaken, it was a weird first round where he hurt himself, went down to the ground,
right?
And Ruzaboa TKO'd him. I really like this over 1.5. I'm with you on it. I think it's a good parlay piece.
That's exactly how I'm going to begin for those first 4 fights in the card. You know how much I love Juicy J, Julian Erosa. Yeah. But he's going up against the damage. Matty, I've said this to you before in years past. It's the worst, best tattoo, maybe in all of sports, the Darren Sports, right? Because it's exactly what he's all about, man. He's just going to take damage, and more damage. What ticket are you holding right now?
I'm holding the long shot cycle parlay here, and leg number 1 is this fight right here. So
I guess
this fight, yeah, good.
Okay,
you already know what I'm on. You already know.
I have a feeling I know what you're on.
You already know.
You're gonna look for Juicy J via sub.
Bro, we've done too many shows in the past.
We've done too many shows together.
So hear me out on this, everyone. Let's listen in. Elkins he's very durable. We understand that. Here's the way I look at this fight. Erosa is going to be better at distance. So that club and sub is live, number one, right? Because he has that tendency that if he hurts you, he's going to jump on it anyways. Number two, go watch Elkins fight against Pineda. I know Pineda's high-level jiu-jitsu for the most part, but Arosa's squeeze, bro.
Yeah.
Like, Elkins was in a guillotine in round 1 in his last fight. I don't ever see anyone escape Arosa's guillotine. He did it to C-Rod, who had never been subbed before. Arosa's guillotine is just different, man. He's another guy training with Nixick. I'm telling you, bro. I like him inside the distance here. I don't even know what the finish price is. But leg number 1 of the cycle, plus 400. This is one that I'll probably straight bet inside the distance. I think he can hurt him on the feet. I think he can sub him in a sloppy takedown attempt on a guillotine. I think there's a lot of ways he could finish this fight. I know. And, dude, is it just me or, like, I feel like Elkins is, like, the trendiest dog of the week?
Everybody loves him. Who doesn't? I mean, it's hard not. He's a fan favorite, right? We all love him for all the fights we've seen through the years and how much literal damage he's taking and giving out. So I get all that, but there's a reason why Juicy J is minus 340 here. I'm seeing at DraftKings. I would look to the under 2.5 at minus $1.10 instead of playing Arosa on that straight big money line because of exactly what you said. I think you're spot on. And I was looking at that submission price too for Juicy J. I could easily see that. The only worry I have is if it gets late and it gets slippery and it gets bloody, which we've seen a lot in Darren Elkins fights. Can he hold that squeeze? Because sometimes it gets so slippery, it's hard to maintain that control. But he's going to have a chance for it. He's going to have several chances for it because Darren will put himself in those chances. So I think you're going to be really live with Elkins via sub. But I do like the under 2.5 with that double chance in case Darren really starts pressing. You know, at 40 years old, does he really want to go 15 hard minutes again? Probably not. So I think it might be kill or be killed here. You're gonna be really live with that sub play.
And bro, I was looking for reasons to not take it because I was like, you know, like Arosa has 2 straight subs. I'm like, it's gonna be a shitty play here.
Yeah.
And I look at the number and I'm like, if this was like plus 225, I'd probably skip it. I'm like, it was a plus 425 here in Florida. It jumped down to 400 and I grabbed it. I was like, it's going to go down lower. I saw FanDuel. I saw some other books have it at plus 3 and change. It was like plus 40. I was like, dude, Arosa at 4-1 by sub. I'm going to take him every single time against anyone that's like not at the upper tier of the division, you know? And I'm like, I just can't pass on it. So, and I also don't think there's a ton of crazy good sub opportunities on this card. There's a couple, there's a few, but I was like, this is the long shot cycle, so it fits perfectly. So I'm going, dude, this guy's 30 wins in his career. 47% of them are by submission.
I was going to say, he's not knocking out Darren Elkins.
47% of them. I was like, I have to do it. And that's the thing. Elkins is a guy that I love taking sub props.
Yeah.
Was that have good jiu-jitsu against durable guys. Because if they hurt them first, they're not going out cold, right? I took this shot on Manuel Torres versus Drew Dober. I had the round 1 finish. So I still made money. But I was like, Torres can club and sub him. And it played out perfectly. He hurt Dober and he went to the ground, but he just didn't jump on the back. He just started hammer fisting him away. But I think this fight could play out similar where like Arosa is going to be better at range, knock him to the ground. Maybe he knocks him to the ground, snatches something, or maybe he just tags him coming in, sloppy takedown, and then the signature Juicy J guillotine. So leg number 1 of the long shot cycle is going to be Julian Arosa by submission. I got plus 400 odds. I put that in yesterday.
I will be tailing because, again, that's exactly where my brain was going to, that if you wanted to flip that script instead of laying the big price point here, find that solid plus money that you got at plus $4. Because to me, the double chance for Juicy J is sub and or by decision. And I don't like the KO prop for Julian at all. Not against a guy like Darren Elkins. I think you got to put him to sleep to get him out of there. And that's the way you put him to sleep. You get that sub and finish him that way because he ain't quitting. I don't think he's going to go out with a hand. So I love where your head's at there. I can't wait to pick your brain in the next fight because I've talked to a lot of people this week on VSiN, a lot of people that I respect in our space, and nobody's with me on this.
Oh, God.
But I'm looking at Bad Moon Rising, Virginia Tech's finest, and I'm going, why is he almost a 6-1 betting dog against the Dream? I love Chase Hooper. It's hard not to love the kid. Yeah. But I wonder, Matty, at some point, if he's like, all right, I'll play the Jits game with Jin Miller. Well, that's a dangerous game to play with a guy down there on the ground if you can't lock anything in. Like, we know what a dog Jim is. Can't you see a scenario where the fight hits the ground, Chase can't get the leg lock that he's looking for, body lock that he's looking for, Jim flips it, and now all of a sudden you've got that dog on top of you? I see a ground and pound Jim Miller teaching the kid a lesson type fight coming.
What does that pay, the KO?
I got to see if it's
15-1. 15-1. Holy shit.
I mean, come on. Do you not see him posturing up on this kid who's trying to pull every slick submission this side of, pick any great jiu-jitsu specialist because he doesn't want to throw the hands game with Jim Miller, and all of a sudden he's caught in a compromising position on his back? I can easily see that playing out.
Well, Jim's up to 6-1 on the money line now.
Oh, my God.
I think that his path is a knockout, though.
Yeah.
I think Hooper's the better BJJ player at this stage. Like, the dude's filled out now. He's strong. He grappled against Aljamain and he lost by decision. I think it was a close grappling match. I'm pretty sure. I didn't watch that whole grappling match, but I think Hooper's coming on, and I think the odds makers see that, bro. I mean, this fight would never be these odds 2 years ago. It would be like closer to a pick'em.
Totally.
But it's so much different now. He's taller, bigger reach, younger, better. I think better jiu-jitsu than Jim Miller. And I'm always a big Jim Miller guy, bro. He broke my heart when he subbed Cowboy Cerrone because I had the KO as the last leg of a parlay, and I was like, Cowboy's so chinny, Jim Miller can pop him on the feet, and he just grabbed that guillotine and it was over.
But dude, you like? There's no way Chase Hooper can stand and hurt Jim Miller on the hands, right?
But he hurt the kickboxer Slava claws on the feet.
Yeah, he did.
You remember I had that KO at 10-1. Chase Hooper by KO over against Slava Claus.
Yeah. He
dominated on the feet. It was like kind of eye-opening, right?
Yeah.
And we were like, is Hooper just so much better than he was, or is Slava Claus just really regressed? And he hurt Slava Claus on the feet. This dude has like a bulge on the side of his head that was about to explode.
That's right.
Like, give me my TKO. I'm about to hit this for 10-1. I had 1,000 to win 10,000 on it. Next thing you know, he's on the ground beating the shit out of him. And then he chokes him last second. I'm like, you got to be shitting me, bro.
Just finish the ground and pound.
You got to be shitting me. So,
well, look at the total. It's sitting at 7.5 minutes. So books are thinking we're getting a finish. So you looking at Chase by submission?
I can't do it. The number sucks.
Yeah.
I hammered. So, this is a good thing we should talk through because people are comparing Jim Miller to Clay Guida, and I completely disagree with that. I know they have a little bit of a same style, but Jim Miller has better power and better jiu-jitsu, whereas Guida is just like
it's a worker,
wrestling guy,
Yeah.
And Chase Hooper, like, dude, I bet so much on Hooper by sub. It was a terrible number. I was like, I don't care. He just subbed him in grappling. He's gonna sub Clay Guida. He's a wrestler. But this is a different matchup. So this one scares me. This is where I would pass on a Chase Hooper by sub. I think it can hit, but I just don't love the number. And I think Jim Miller is more susceptible by damage, honestly, at this stage. Bobby Green almost had him out in round 3.
Yeah.
So this is a very tough fight. I think I go under 1.5 and call it a day, bro.
Just look for the finish. You get plus money on that under 1.5 right now. You get about plus $25 here in DraftKings if you're going to play under 7.5 minutes. I don't know, man. I something tells me like, maybe I'm older now and I look at these dogs and I go, every great fighter still has one great fight left in him. And Jim Miller's going to Hall of Fame. And no disrespect to Chase, because I to watch him emerge. And like you said, though, Matty, you nailed it. He's getting bigger before our eyes. This isn't the same kid we saw 3 years ago in the octagon that looked like a boy in there. He does look like he's a grown-ass man. He's getting there. Yeah. But I think it'd be a foolish game if he plays a hands game with Jim. He better take the fight down to the ground and look to lock him up. Because if he doesn't secure him in that jits battle, I do see a scenario where Miller might be physically imposing and try to control Hooper on the ground, posture up, and look to get him out of there and hurt the kid and finish him on the ground. I could see that playing out.
Yeah, I want to look at Jim's. So Jim's last few fights. So he guillotined Damon Jackson. The King Green fight, I just don't like how that result has aged.
Back and forth, yeah.
Because think about it, bro. His last 4 fights, it's all lower level guys. It's Jesse Butler, who he destroyed in the first round. He beat Gabriel. He beat King. He lost to King Green, and then he Damon Jackson was halfway out the door, bro. That was a retirement fight for him. So I kind of feel like now Jim Miller's taking a big step up against a surging guy in Hooper. I kind of like the comments. I think some people are saying Chase Hooper inside the distance. That kind of covers the KO too when he's been so close on some of these KOs.
Yeah.
See what that number is real quick, and then we'll move on.
Well, I'll say this though, Matty. If he knocks out Jim Miller, then you got to start looking at Chase Hooper and saying, well, he's not just a one-dimensional fighter anymore. Now he really can use his hands.
Agree.
Like, that would show me something if he knocks out Jim Miller.
Yeah. So Chase by finish is -180. So
I don't hate it, but I would not play. That's not a play I'm going to have. Maybe it's nostalgia tugging at me a little bit here with Jim. I'm probably going to end up on the Jim Miller side here at $6, thinking that he's got one more fight, especially if he goes down to the ground. I want to see him on top, and you know what a dog he is on top. And I can see him raining down some elbows and trying to knock Chase Hooper out. I'm telling you, if you and I talk on Monday, I won't be shocked if Jim Miller knocks out Chase Hooper.
Jeez. Well, 15-1, you got to sprinkle if you like it.
I got to take a shot at it. All right, let's keep it moving. I'm fascinated by this Yan Xiaonan fight against Virna Jandiroba. And Verna's a small favorite right now here, but $1.45 I'm seeing here. A lot of people that I know really like Yan. And I know that, when you knock out somebody and knock out some women that normally we don't expect you to be able to knock out, like a Jessica Andrade, it gets their attention. But, man, I look at Virna and I say, can she stop the takedowns from Virna? And if she can't, can she get up? Like, again, getting back to the Brito fight last week against Sabatini, I was more pissed that he didn't know how to get up and that once the takedown happened, he was stuck. I wonder if Yan is stuck if Virna gets a takedown after takedown after takedown, could take 3, and she could burn 15 minutes off the clock.
Yeah. This is tough. I do think Yan's kind of underrated. Like, we saw how good Wei Li was when she fought Patchy Mix's girlfriend. What's her name?
Oh, for when Yan. Oh, you're talking about what last fight for Yan or for Virna?
I'm talking about when Wei Li fought Patchy Mix's girl. Come on, someone in the chat, help a brother out.
You know who's dating who in the scene?
Oh, dude, Patchy Mix is my boy though. So she fought. She was a 5-rounder. Suarez, thank you.
Okay, yeah, Tatiana Suarez.
When Tatiana Suarez fought Wei Li,
yeah,
I think that just showed how good Wei Li is. We all know about her striking and power, but she out-grappled Tatiana Suarez, who's, like, to me, the best in the entire world in women's MMA wrestling. Like she's that good. And Wei Li was able to get out of her takedown attempts. She was able to stuff takedowns. She was able to have her own success in the grappling. So I was like, I'm sitting here thinking, like, maybe Yan is just super underrated, bro. She's got power. She's got counter striking. But do you feel like Verna's like a zombie? Because I almost feel like Yan as an underdog on the scorecards here could pay nicely.
And a lot of people that I've talked to, Matty, again, in our spaces that I do respect, they're on the Yan Xiaonan side. I really leaned towards Virna when I was looking at this fight weeks ago, but because I do respect other people's opinions in here, it's gotten me off of it a little bit. But I just see takedown after takedown coming from Virna, and she's not too shabby with the hands either. Not that she don't want to play that game with Yan. Again, with the knockout power that we've seen when you drop somebody like Jessica Andrade.
Yeah.
I would look to it, and again, the over is going to be juiced as you can imagine here. It's over 210. For 2.5 rounds. If you like the Jandiroba side, I'd probably look to her by decision. And then if you like the Yan side, you can get plus money at plus $1.60 if you really think she can knock Virna out.
I know. I just feel like Virna is going to get takedowns, but she's not going to be able to do enough with them. And I feel like Yan on the scorecards. Listen to this, Dave. The underdog by decision is the most likely outcome of the fight. Like, it's plus 200, and the next most likely outcome is Virna by decision.
What's Verna's number at decision?
Plus 210. But it is interesting that the underdog
doesn't make sense.
Is the most likely outcome, and that's what I like too. I get the better striker and the girl who's fought better competition at 2-1 odds on the scorecards. I think I'm going to play that. I'm probably going to build a decision parlay, put 2 or 3 guys and gals on that, and try to hear something on a probably a 3-leg parlay. But I think this might hit my decision parlay and take the underdog here.
So you're not worried that if you're on the Janan side that she gets the KO and knocks Verna out?
I mean, it's possible. Let's look at Verna's durability. So she's 21-3 in MMA, 0 losses by knockout, 0 losses by submission, but she's 6-3 when fights go the distance. So that's how she loses. She loses on the scorecards. I feel like she's a zombie, bro. Look at her fucking face on that graphic. She's a zombie, bro.
Let's run it. I mean,
I think Jan could probably score a
keep
knockdown.
coming forward.
I think Jan probably scores a knockdown, but then does she really want to go down there with her?
No.
I don't think she does.
No, because Verna's gonna, if she just controls on the ground and doesn't do damage with the scoring now, the way it's supposed to be implemented, that wouldn't be a big detraction. If Jan say scored the knockdown, I got the fight down to the ground. You'd still have to score towards the Jan side.
Whenever Verna faces higher competition, loses to Esparza on the scorecards, loses to Mackenzie Dern on the scorecards, loses to Amanda Hebos on the scorecards. This is Jan by decision all day for me. I'm playing it.
I'm not going to talk you out of it because I understand that logic. And again, when the fight is minus 210 over 2.5, you're probably sitting in a pretty good spot there picking the underdog. As I mentioned off the top of the show, I'd rather be on the dog side if the fight's going to hit the judges' scorecards at that plus money versus laying it. So I'm not mad at you for that. 50K Ige against the sniper in there in Sean Woodson. This fight aesthetically, Matty, is going to be so – anybody who fights Sean Woodson, it just looks weird because he's so lanky and it looks like he should be so easy to take down, but he's not. He's so hard to take down. He's so agile. And so that's where he starts to snipe you when you can't get that takedown. And I know Ige is going to want to get inside. He's going to want to throw uppercuts as a smaller guy. But do you see Sean using that distance and that great kind of ring generalship? Because I look to the sniper here and I think I don't mind laying the small price point here against Dan Ige.
Yeah, bro. Is it that small, though? It's like up to minus 180, I think.
It's going up. It has gone up this week. Yeah. I still think money's going to come in on Ige because he's so popular.
Probably late, yeah. I think this is just probably the hardest stylistic matchup for Ige. So this is the only fight on the card where I'm fading Coach Eric Nixick, bro, because I can't stand doing it. Every time I do it, I always am so nervous. I love him as a coach. Here's the thing. Ige, so this is leg number 1 of the official cycle. I'm going Sean Woodson by decision. I talk about this on my YouTube channel all the time. What do I love doing for the first leg of the decision? What do I love doing for the decision cycle? I like taking skilled fighters against very durable guys. Ige has, I don't think, ever been put away. Maybe once by sub, never been knocked out. Sean Woodson, elite footwork, elite head movement, elite boxing, elite distance management. So tall for the division, 6'2" against 5'7". This guy's going to be on his bicycle, throwing 1-2s, moving around. And I think Ige is just going to keep walking in the shots. And I think Woodson's going to be able to score a lot and win this fight on the scorecards. I do consistently worry about Woodson's weight cut, though. This guy is a big motherfucker.
He's so tall, dude.
Huge, So I do always have that concern. So I think if you play Ige, you play the knockout. If you play Woodson, you play the decision. I'm going Sean Woodson by decision. I got it at plus 110, leg 1 of the cycle. I am nervous about it, though. I'm be honest.
Dude, I love this fight. I'm so glad we aligned. And again, for everybody watching and listening out there, Matty and I have not gone over these fights before the show. It's a fight I gave out early in the week on VSiN as one of my favorite plays, Woodson by decision. So I'm right there with you. You look at Ige, was it Lerone Murphy, and before that Diego Lopes when he literally took that fight at 24 hours notice, and Lopez couldn't get him out of there. So, or third round, I look at it and I go, this has got Woodson 15 minutes of Ige getting frustrated that he can't get inside, get the power shot, and he picks him apart from the outside. And by the way, if Ige gets him in the clinch, here come those knees from Woodson, man.
I know.
He's so dangerous in the clinch because of the knees, and nobody takes him down. So I love that play, Woodson.
Well, he uses the cage behind him, and he gets him underhooks, and he's good. I mean, someone said Ige by sub. It's probably a great number. I know he's considered a black belt, but I believe Woodson went to the third round with Arosa. I think that was his only loss. Am I right on that?
Let me check and see. But I just look at it and go, how does Ige get that down to the ground? I
don't think he's going to be – I think he would need a knockdown, truthfully.
Yeah, I'm looking at again, Woodson hasn't lost in forever.
Woodson's only loss was Julian Arosa, and it was round 3 Darce choke. I don't see Ige subbing him when Woodson's takedown defense is elite. He's big, strong.
That fight was 5 years ago already.
I know.
Holy shit. I can't believe it's been 5 years since he's lost in there. But I love your play there. I think it's by decision is the best way to go. Like, do you see Woodson knocking out Dan Ige?
I don't see it, but I didn't. I had him. So I had him by this. Bro, this is so funny. I had Woodson by decision in the cycle when he fought Padilla. He knocked out Padilla and he DM'd me. He said, "My bad, bro. I ruined the cycle parlay." I'm like, bro, you just knocked out a dude. Don't ever apologize to me. I was like, congrats on your win. He's the nicest guy, bro. He's the nicest guy.
It's so cool that he did that, though. Like, hey, Matty, my bad. I took care of business.
By the way, he's a gambler. Not
yeah,
like this shit, obviously, but he likes some casino games. He likes to play. So,
well, Sean, keep winning so you get some house money to play with. We're gonna be back with you by decision. I think you love this fight with Dominic Reyes coming up here, and that's going to be against Nikita Krylov. And Reyes right now is a dog in this fight here. I'm seeing about plus $1.30 here on DraftKings, $1.50 rather. The Krylov side, you got to lay $1.80 here for some of the bigger boys in the light heavyweight division. Are we getting a KO, Matty? Because that total is sitting at 1.5.
So this is my favorite fight of the entire card from a betting standpoint. I'm gonna tell you, I have 3 massive plays on this fight. So let's start with. I think I have them in here. Let's see if we can add this. All right.
Let me see.
Ticket number 1, boys. You're going to want to tail this one. Don't go crazy. It's plus 750. But last week we hit round 1 finish on Barbosa, plus 210. I love that number. We hammered it. We won over 40 grand on that bet. This week, Nikita Krylov, mark my words because I'm going to clip this. Nikita Krylov is knocking out Dom Reyes in the first round this week. Plus 750, 4,000 pays 34 grand. Okay. And I'm going to show you how confident I am on this. I'm also taking, oh shit, right here. I'm spoiling it by putting the whole ticket up.
There it is.
Leg number 1, Woodson by decision. Leg number 2, Krylov by knockout. And leg number 3, Paddy Pimblett by submission. The brain home, 153,000. So that is my official cycle parlay of the week. 5K at 30-1 pays 153K. If Woodson, what's crazy is I'm most scared about the first leg. That first leg hits, I really do believe Nikita Krylov is going to TKO Dominic Reyes. Reyes never been subbed. I'm not buying into this resurgence.
That's it.
I think he's got a great left hand. He's always going to be known as the guy that quote unquote should have beat John Jones, but he's aged a lot. Krylov's not that active, but when he fights, bro, I've watched a lot of tape on this guy. He's elite. Like, I swear to you, Dave, I would take him as a small dog against Yuri Prochazka every single time. I would take this guy to pull these upsets off. In this fight, I think he's a minus 190 favorite. I think he's going to chin Dominic Reyes in the first round, maybe early second, worst case scenario. I do understand the club and sub is a possibility, so I know that's the scary part to this. But the guy has almost as many K. He's known more for his submissions, but let's take a look here. He's a finisher, bro. Like, if you guys want to if you want to play it safer, you can get Nikita Krylov inside the distance at plus 120. I'm not the type that likes to play it safe, as you guys know. Dude, 12 knockouts for this guy, 16 submissions, and then just do the math. Dominic Reyes up there in age, a little bit chinnier. Ryan Spann finished him with a power jab on the feet in round 1. That was 3 or 4 fights ago.
Yep.
His last 2 fights, Dustin Jacoby, I don't want to say he got lucky, right? Because he rallied, but Jacoby got a little aggressive, got him up against the fence. Careless, and then he got countered and he got put away. But the other fight was Anthony Smith. Anthony Smith was going through a lot of stuff and wanted to get TKO'd out of his mouth. He said that.
Yep.
When you look at Dominic Reyes, he gets put away by the top guys in the division. Jan Blachowicz knocked him out, Yuri Prochazka. I just think that this is a perfect chance to take Krylov on the knockout here. I have round 1 at plus 750. I had the knockout at plus 350. And then one of my biggest bets of the card, under 1.5 in the fight. I got the under 1.5 at plus 125. I hammered it.
You read my mind, because that's where I was going to ask you if you like that under, or it was only by if you worried that if it gets out of the first round, this becomes a zombie-like matchup. It is still plus $1.24. You got a plus $1.25 for under 7.5 minutes. if the Reyes pathway to victory, what is it? The left hand, and he snipes out Nikita. Like that's the way he wins.
Then I win the under at least.
Right. You get that's almost a hedge in a way.
If this fight goes over 7.5 minutes, I'm probably screwed 3 different ways, but I'm trusting my read here. Bro, plus 750 in round 1. When Ryan Spann power jabbed him in round 1, I can't not take it, bro. So I'm riding with it. I also think that the grappling's there where he can get on top and ground and pound in round 1.
Yeah.
So I think it's live in a lot of different ways.
I'll be playing the KO prop on the Krylov side as well. And again, I love Dominic Reyes. I think a lot of fight fans do from the nostalgia of that John Jones fight. But you're kind of still living on that. Like, that was a long time ago, dude. And it's an old 35 for Dom. As much as I respect everything he's done, man, this might be the end of the comeback trail against a younger, hungrier guy that has not been in the wars that Dominic Reyes has been in. I love your KO prop here. And I'll be rooting for it in the first round, but I do like your under. You get it 2.5 extra minutes in that second round if he really pieces them up but can't finish in the first. I think you're really live in rounds 1 and or 2.
Yeah, and this comment right here, if somebody wants to bet me head-to-head, shout out to our sponsor, betopenly.com. I'm tweeting this right now. I'm doing this right now on the show before we move on to the next. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is.
Love it.
Go in Nikita Krylov minus 166. So you can get Reyes plus 166. I believe that's way better than his number anywhere else right now. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to bet 3K and change to win 2,000. Let's see. So it's 3,300 to win 2,000. And I'm going to take the money line here just because this guy wants to bet me head to head. I just placed it. It's on the feed. I'm tweeting it right now if anyone wants to take it. Let's go.
I love it. By the way, Matty, I'm sure you've seen some of the messages coming in. We also got a text from our boy, Kyle Pavance, and Kyle just said, what am I seeing right now? I love the show, boys. Kyle, we love you. He's our guy, so we always love hearing from Kyle and everybody on X and beyond. So, all right, so you put the challenge out. Anybody wants to go head-to-head, you're taking it
right now. Hold on, there it is. I just tweeted it, so go take it. I can't accommodate specific props like that head-to-head, but you guys can take Dominic Reyes if you want to. Let's move on to the next fight.
All right, this is maybe
the people's main event. This is these guys said that they believe. I think Bryce said it. I think he said that everyone is looking forward to this fight more than the main event. That might be a little bit of a reach, but there's a lot of behind the scenes with this fight, right? Like, there's people. The thing about Bryce Mitchell is he's doing the right things because you got to get people to love or hate you, right?
He's
to become
done
a
that.
star, right? Look what John Jones has done. Look what these guys have done that have been successful in the sport. If you can get people to love or hate you, like a Conor McGregor, like a John Jones, you have star power. And Bryce has made this about his religion versus like God versus the devil here, right? Like he's made a big thing about this, and it's built a lot of hype with this fight. And dude, I'm a Bryce Mitchell fan. Like, he said some things that people don't like, and I think anyone would agree with or would disagree with, right?
Sure.
But from an entertainment perspective, I think the guy's got it. I think he's a great grappler. John Silva, I'm going to tell you a story, Dave. John Silva came on the Show Me the Money pod. You guys can go check that out on YouTube. Gilbert, me, Moicano. We didn't do an episode this week, but we'll be back next week. John Silva came on our pod before the Drew Dober fight. And he don't speak English, so Gilbert and Moicano are translating to me. I'm just sitting there clueless what they're talking about. Gilbert looks at me and he said, Matty, bet the house on the KO. So I literally bet the house on John Silva by KO against Drew Dober. He should have had him out in the second round. He got saved the bell. Then he got the doctor stoppage in round 3. He's got very good counter striking. There is a part of me that's like, do we want counter striking against Bryce Mitchell? Because if he's on his back foot, maybe Bryce Mitchell is going to back him up and get takedowns. But I don't think Bryce is going to be able to put him away on the ground. And every fight, and this is a square bet. It's no doubt about it. It's a square side taking John Silva by knockout. I'm doing it anyways. He hasn't let me down yet. I don't think he's going to let me down here. I think he's going to TKO Bryce Mitchell. That knockout again from Josh Emmett, that changes careers, bro.
It did.
He was out cold for minutes. I'm taking John Silva by knockout. It is leg number 2. I'm getting confused on which cycle.
Is it with the Juicy J with Julian Rosa?
Easy.
I think it's with your Juicy J, isn't it?
I think I left it out of the cycle. I'm tripping. Yeah, so I left it out of the cycle. I have two different KOs, but I am on John Silva by KO. So that's my bet on this fight.
All right, well, the numbers are coming down because earlier in the week, at least at Circa in Las Vegas, Bryce was over a $2 betting underdog. He's not anymore. He's down to plus $1.80. So there has been money that has been coming in on Thug Nasty. The only thing I see is, look, he can't play a hands game, Bryce. You're going to lose that hands game if you do that with Silva. You're going to get knocked out, to your point, and your ticket's going to cash if this fight stays standing for too long. The total, by the way, you can get plus money in the over 2.5 rounds, which tells you a little bit of something that maybe the books are looking more towards your side, Matty, that this fight doesn't hit the cards. And if it doesn't hit the cards, then how do the stoppages come? Silva via KO. And what's Bryce going to do? He's going to submit Silva on the ground?
I don't think he is.
What's he going to do? Get a twister again?
But isn't that crazy? Because people are talking about this on Twitter or X. If John Silva is almost 3-1 favorite, he's a 94% finish rate. Yet the over is what? The over is what'd you say it was?
You can get plus money on the under right now. I'm sorry. The over right now is plus $1.10. Under is $1.40. Plus $1.10.
Like, what the odds makers are like confused, bro. It's like John Silva's a 94% finish rate. He's almost a 3-1 favorite, right? So that tells you that the favorite gets a finish, but yet the over is plus money. So the fight to go the distance is near even money. So it is a little confusing here. I think John Silva finishes him, bro. I really do. He's finishing lightweights, you know.
He is.
You know, he's got to avoid the takedowns, but even if he gets taken down, I think he gets back to the feet eventually. I don't think he gets put away, and then round 2 starts on the feet again. And I just think this guy's striking is different.
If Bryce is still the elite wrestler, I think we all thought he was a couple of years ago. But the Josh Emmett fight, I don't know how you fully recover from that. If you ever fully recover from a knockout like that, like Bryce had, he doesn't seem like he's been the same guy. Mm-hmm. I am surprised that the money's come in on Bryce. I liked him when he was over a $2 betting dog. I don't think I like him at the shorter price now. And if the fight stays standing for too long, he'll get knocked out again.
And by the way, this comment right here, who else said bet the house on him as an underdog? Last week, Josh Emmett said bet the house on him. I don't like when fighters say that. I know I'm contradicting myself because John Silva said that on my podcast. But Jamal Hill also said it on my podcast. He said bet the house on him against Poatan.
That did not work out.
I went to that fight, and he fucking sold me. He was so confident, bro, and I felt like an idiot. Poatan finished him in round 1. But it doesn't always work out when these underdogs are like, oh, bet the house on me, and then I don't know, bro.
I'm a little leery of that fight. I don't have any official play on that, but I'm with you. I might look to the under $1.40 instead if you want the side of being on the Silva side, thinking that more than likely a finish is coming at some point, and hopefully it happens within 2.5 rounds for that under to cash, which would be a much shorter number than laying the well over $2 right now on the Silva side. What do you make of Pitbull making his UFC debut against El Pantera? Did you see today that Yair and Diego Lopes,
I know
they were hitting some crazy beef, and Matty, I'm like, dude, you guys are not fighting each other. Like,
Yair's setting himself up to be in the mix, though. It's kind of smart what he's doing. If he can put away Pitbull, which I don't think he's going to put him away, but if he's able to put away Pitbull, he's right where he needs to be. You know, I mean, he didn't look great in that fight versus Volk, but that was like the end of prime Volk. I feel like that was like still in Volk's prime, in my opinion. Right. And he looked great in that fight against Yair. I don't think Pitbull can do what Volk did, or the way that Volk did against Yair. And hear me out on this. I watched a lot of tape on Pitbull. I know a lot of people that bet the UFC might not be familiar with his fights. They probably still know the name, but they haven't really looked through his fights. And you look at, he knocked out Michael Chandler. He did X, Y, and Z. But he's very low volume on the feet, Dave. Very low volume. And I think he's KO or bust here. Like, I really do. And I think Yair is going to be kicking him at range. I think he's going to probably 2 or 3x his striking volume on the feet. And I have to take Yair Rodriguez by decision here in the cycle, bro. I get him plus 140 on it. Here, let's pull this shit up if I can grab the right ticket here. Right there. So I'm spoiling it again, but I don't care. I want to show you guys the ticket. We've already talked about leg 1 of the long shot cycle. Juliana Rosa by sub. Leg 2, Yair Rodriguez by decision. I love that at plus 150, way more volume on the feet. And then the third leg's in the main event, which we'll get to here.
Well, again, you just flipped a $2 betting favorite, $1.98 on El Pantera, and you've just got plus money at plus $1.50 to go with Rodriguez by decision against Pitbull. And I'm with you on the Patricio side when you watch his fights, or if you watch his fights. Yeah, big striker, but low volume. And that's normally not a good recipe unless you really catch El Pantera in this fight. Yair's so slick, man. We've seen it through the years. That's why he had the interim belt not that long ago. Yeah, maybe you're right. He's really starting to buck for bigger fights already. I think he might look at this as easy work. I'm picking up what you're putting down with that decision prop at plus money. It feels like Rodriguez is the right side, but instead of laying 2-1, does he knock out Patricio with a head kick?
Yeah,
I could see that, but barring that, he probably just wins on points, right?
Who did I say earlier was like the trendy dog of the card?
Oh, earlier,
I can't remember now.
I'll tell you who it was. I think it was Darren Elkins.
Yes, thank you. So I think that Elkins and Pitbull are the two underdog traps of the card, if there's a such thing. I think they're both like Elkins, kind of like a fan favorite, very scrappy, can make the fight go late. And then Pitbull is kind of a fan favorite going into the UFC right now. I feel like everyone I talk to is like, oh, Pitbull's got this. I'm like, wait a second. Yair striking is good, bro. Like, he hurt Ortega round 1. He's got really good striking, really dynamic striking, great kicks, whereas Pitbull's just going to kind of come forward and try to land the shot. And if he doesn't land that shot, I think I could see a 30-27 Yair on the scorecards, maybe 29-28. So I'm going Yair Rodriguez by decision here as my decision leg of one of the 2 cycles.
And it might be the first fight for Pitbull in the UFC. He's still 37. You can't change the age on the odometer just because it's a new organization. So Pantera's still live in his prime at 32. I love your play here. That's your second leg with Juicy J by submission, Yair via decision. On one of your cycle tickets that you showed us already, you're on Paddy the Batty in the co-main against Michael Chandler. I've gone back and forth on this. And look, we've talked about Paddy the Batty, you and I, for years. And I know a lot of the people that I talked to at VSiN through the years as well. We've always looked for spots to fade Paddy. And I've never faded him yet. And I've never lost a ticket on the guy in the UFC. Not always the prettiest thing. It's looked a lot prettier as he's matured. I don't know if he's just a mouthpiece with a Beatles haircut anymore. Matty, he seems legit to me. And I wonder if Chandler is kind of the talker on the mic now, selling his way into bigger fights, but really doesn't have all the goods to back it up.
I'm with you, bro. I think Paddy right now is night and day from 2022 when he's fighting guys like, Jared Gordon, Jordan Levitt. I think the guy's totally evolved. He's gotten his nutrition in check. His striking's gotten better. His durability has always been there. But guess what, bro? This fight comes down to one thing and one thing only. Michael Chandler will always find a way to fuck it up. I'm sorry to say it, but he just finds ways to lose, bro. And I like Michael Chandler as a guy. I like him as an exciting fighter. I think he's generally a good dude. I know there's some stuff out there with him and Poirier and how he cheats and all that shit, but like, I'm actually a fan of Michael Chandler. I just think the UFC is so calculated, bro, with their matchmaking. And they're, in a way, like, they're going to give Paddy even more star power if he can come in at a pay-per-view and a UFC Miami card and put this dude away. And everyone says the same thing. Oliveira couldn't sub him in 5 rounds. How could Paddy Pimblett do it? But we all know that kind of logic never makes sense in MMA. You can't do MMA math like that. And Paddy Pimblett, I think, is going to submit Michael Chandler. Dustin Poirier did it. I have it as the last leg of one of my 2 cycle parlays. I'm going with Paddy Pimblett. Can you imagine, Dave? I hit the first 2 legs. Woodson decision in a sweat. Krylov KO round 1. And I have to sweat $150,000 on Paddy Pimblett to submit Michael Chandler. But all it takes is Michael Chandler to do one stupid thing. And if that dude is on your back with a backpack, who the fuck is calling me? 1 second.
Room service? It's got to be room service calling you this hour on the East Coast. Paddy, by the way, for everybody listening out there right now, if you want to lay it on the Batty, it's $1.48 to come back in Chandler's plus $1.24. Was that room service?
I don't know. I hung up.
$1.48 on Pimblett. How about this though, Matty? The total sitting at 1.5, which is going to lead to good vibes for you to get a finish. That when we're sitting at 7.5, again, it's juiced to the over. So I understand that, but it's indicating that the books are anticipating a finish, that it's going to be correlated play Chandler by KO. I mean, yeah, is there a chance of Pimblett posturing up for ground pound? Yes. But I think more than likely he's going to do like he did the Monkey King and get that back and get the neck and put you to sleep. So, man, he's so well. I can't believe I'm saying this about Paddy Pimblett in 2025. He's so well-rounded. His hands have gotten better. Like he can hurt you with the hands and finish you with the body lock and the rear naked choke. Is that the way you see it playing out, though, as a RNC?
I think so. Rear naked choke. Dude, you know it's another thing that's not even talked about? What if Chandler knocks him to the ground and Paddy grabs something off his back?
Sure. Follows him down to the ground?
Yeah, that's because Chandler was very cautious against Oliveira, but maybe he's more aggressive here. And then maybe, he makes a mistake and Paddy capitalizes on it. He's one of the most opportunistic submission grapplers, bro. The way he transitioned into finishing King Green.
Sick.
Unbelievable. So I just think that at plus 240, we're never going to get a Paddy by sub number like that again, bro, unless he's fighting fucking Islam or somebody.
If you correlate a play, though, would you, not that we're not on the side here, we're on the Paddy side, but if you were on the Chandler side, it's just got to be by KO, right? He can't win a decision.
Who, Paddy?
Yeah, no, Chandler. If he's going to pull the upsets by KO.
I think so, but yeah, I was looking Chandler plus 650 by decision, Paddy's 10-1. I was looking at both those and I was like, wait, it's a 5-rounder. I had to remind myself. And then I was like, fuck, it's just 5 rounds of these lunatics.
But think about that, with the total at 1.5 for a 5-round fight, your sub price is so live.
Yeah.
I mean, that's absolutely what it's telling you. All right, so that's the last leg of you've got 2 cycle parlays. Again, that was the one with Juicy J and Nikita by KO, right?
Yeah, correct.
Woodson by decision.
Woodson decision, Krylov KO, Paddy sub is the first is the official cycle. That one's 31.
All right, that's pretty damn sexy. All right, main event time. All right. So the main event, Matty. I've been watching this number all week at Circa. Okay, every morning when I come in for the show, first thing I see on the big board is Lopes and Volk fight, and the number changed dramatically. A lot of Volk money was coming in. It's starting to level back. It was higher, I believe it's about plus $1.30. And you and I were texting with our boy Kyle even last week on, we got to be on the Diego side here, right? Has your opinion changed at all? Is it still Diego or bust?
I'm Diego by KO, bro. I'm really I know Volk's in shit like crazy shape. I know how good this guy is, one of the greatest of all time. I just think when someone's time, it's someone's time, and I feel that way on both sides. I feel like it's Diego Lopez's time to become a superstar. I feel like it's Volk's time. He's been to kind of fade away a little bit here. He's just been chinned 2 fights in a row. It's sad because like everyone wants to root for him, and I do too. But he could be looking so good in this fight, and then one shot changes it. And I just think all the finishing upsides on Lopez, unless it goes late, of course, Volk could get like a 3 through 5 round finish is possible. But I'm going Diego Lopez by knockout. I've been playing this guy all the time, making money on him. I know he's fighting, but I mean, some of these knockouts are good knockouts. Who was it? Yusuf?
Yeah.
That was a great uppercut. That was a great knockout. The Ortega one should have been a knockout, bro. He went to the ground with him and let him recover. He had that 2-piece combination on the feet in round 1 where I don't know that Volk's surviving that. Ortega's kind of a zombie. I don't think Volk's surviving that exact combination. I know Volk's probably the more skilled guy, but it's still pretty close in all honesty. So I think Lopez is the finishing upside. He has the power on the feet. He said himself he sees the fight going by knockout. The club and sub's always a possibility, but Volk's a short, stocky guy. I feel like the TKO, he's just going to hurt him on the feet and then pound him out on the ground. I'm going Diego Lopez. And that's the last leg of the long shot one. So decision, Arosa submission, Lopez KO. All I ask is to be live going into the main event or live going into the co-main on the first one, and I'm right where I need to be, bro.
I love it. Let me ask you, if I were to play devil's advocate, do we worry about the cardio of Diego if Volk survives? Total, by the way, sitting at 3.5 for this 5-rounder, juice to the over $1.45. Do we worry at all that the cardio is an issue? Like he couldn't put away Ige on super short notice, right? Had him hurt but couldn't finish him. Like, does that concern us at all?
It's possible, but both guys look to be in crazy condition. They're both shredded. Diego Lopes is so ready for this fight. He landed the most in his last fight. The most volume he landed was in round 3 out of any round. You know, as far as significant strikes, that was the Ortega fight, right?
Yeah. He looked great. I mean, Brian, I don't know how Brian stayed afloat and got back into that fight the way he did. That's the greatness of Brian Ortega, I think. But Diego looked great early in that fight. Like, I think kind of like the Topuria fight where Volk maybe won the first round against Ilya, and then he just got starched. Yeah. I can see if it's going to go, it's going to go quickly. Like, I could see Lopes first 2.5 rounds. I think Volk's in a lot of danger. If he can't survive early, obviously it'll get done. If he survives into the later rounds, that's the only time I'd worry about Diego is the cardio late.
Yeah. No, it's fair. It's a fair point. I just think Lopes gets it done within 10 minutes, bro. I'm banking
10 minutes.
Within 10 minutes. That's his path, bro. You know, if he doesn't, then I'll take my L. I mean, if he gets it late, that's great. But I think that the first 10 minutes of the fight, that's when Volk gets finished. You know, round 2 early. Round 2 against Topuria, round 1 against Islam with the head kick. Lopes has big power, bro. Big power. Volk's just been shinned twice in a row. I know it's the highest level of guys, but I think Lopes is right there, right? One small tier down, you know, underneath of an Islam, underneath of Topuria. He's just one tier down from them, and I think he can get it done with the KO.
Still get plus $1.20 on the Lopes side, which is pretty amazing to me. I thought we'd get a flip of favorites by now. We have not.
I thought it would too. Yeah, right? I think it's going to stick now that it's come down. And we still have till Saturday. And he might close at even money. That was my prediction.
That's what I thought. I actually thought, yeah, maybe Lopes. So that plus money sticks out to me at plus $1.20, plus $1.14, under 3.5. So Matty, I'm picking up what you're putting down. He gets this thing done early. That under at plus money is also in play.
100%, bro. It's going to be a good main event for sure. So
cannot wait, man. Dude, anytime I can hop on with you and talk fights, brother, you got my number. You know I'm down anytime.
My man, you want to build one parlay? I gave out like 3 or 4. So is there anything that you you? It could be
one right now. I'm going to definitely play. I'm going to play Woodson via decision. I think that's my favorite fight on the card. Again, I've given that one out earlier this week on VSiN, so I'm going to stick with that. Woodson via decision is going to be my first leg of it. I'm going to go with Juicy J by sub, and I'm with you on that. So that's 2 legs of yours. I don't know if it's the same cycle parlay you have.
It is. I think it is.
It is? All right. We're already aligned on 2 of the 3. And I think what I might do to cap it off, and it won't be a true cycle parlay in this sense, but I think what I'm going to look for here is the under in the Reyes and Krylov fight here, because I'm with you. I think Nikita's going to get it done, and that Dominic is either going to be kill or be killed. So if there's a fluky knockout for the Reyes side, it happens early. If not, he's out. So give me the under 1.5 at plus $1.40, plus $1.24 to build that 3-legger.
What was the second leg?
I'm going to take the second leg. I gave you the first leg. Juicy J by sub. That's Julian
right.
Arosa.
Let's see what this pays. Dude, we're on the same. We're so aligned right now. Hold on. Where the hell is that fight? Did they take it off the board?
Don't tell me Elkins and Arosa's off the board.
No, there it is. I found it.
Good.
All right. 3-leg parlay to recap here. Dave's got Woodson decision, under 1.5 in the Krylov Reyes fight. Arosa. Oh shit! I clicked decision. Hold on. We don't want Arosa by decision.
No, I want Juicy J myself.
21 plus 2150. 100 pays 2,250 total payout. Let's see.
Let's go.
Let's see if it smacks.
I'm playing it, brother. You know I'm playing it.
All right, boys. I'm back tomorrow night, Friday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern for the Longshots only show with Hey Jai Picks. That's when you guys can come on and give us your picks in person or on the phone. All you have to do is have a camera phone. You have to come on with confidence, and you have to give us a 10-1 long shot or better. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channels, and I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Thank you, Dave. You're the man for coming on, bro.
Anytime, brother.
All right.